You've probably heard of the dark web, but what exactly is it? Think of the dark web as a hidden corner of the internet that's not indexed by search engines like Google. It's a part of the internet that exists beneath the surface, and you need special software like Tor to access it. The dark web is often portrayed as a hub for hackers and cybercriminals, but the truth is more complex. While it's true that some illicit activities take place on the dark web, it's also a platform for legitimate services and communities. You can find everything from online marketplaces for buying and selling goods to forums for discussing sensitive topics. The dark web is often misunderstood, and its reputation is exaggerated. It's not a single, monolithic entity, but rather a collection of different networks and communities. Some of these communities are benign, while others are more nefarious. The key is to understand that the dark web is a reflection of the internet as a whole. It's a diverse and complex ecosystem. Now, let's talk about the FBI's takeover of a dark website. This event is a prime example of how law enforcement is adapting to the evolving threat landscape. In 2014, the FBI launched an operation to infiltrate and take down a major dark web market called Silk Road. The market was notorious for its sale of illicit goods, including narcotics and counterfeit currency. The FBI's operation was a masterclass in undercover policing. They created a fake identity for one of their agents, who then posed as a buyer on the Silk Road market. The agent built a reputation on the site, earning the trust of the administrators and other users. Once the agent had gained enough credibility, the FBI launched a raid on the site, seizing control of the servers and arresting the administrators. The Silk Road case was a significant victory for law enforcement, but it also highlighted the challenges of policing the dark web. The anonymity of the network makes it difficult for authorities to track down perpetrators, and the use of encryption makes it hard to intercept communications. Despite the challenges, the FBI and other law enforcement agencies are continuing to adapt and evolve their strategies for policing the dark web. They're using advanced technologies like machine learning and artificial intelligence to analyze data and identify patterns. They're also working with other agencies and partners to share intelligence and best practices. One of the key challenges of policing the dark web is understanding the motivations of the people who use it. Why do people use the dark web, and what do they hope to achieve? The answers to these questions can be complex and multifaceted. Some people use the dark web for legitimate purposes, such as protecting their anonymity or accessing censored information. Others use it for more nefarious purposes, such as buying and selling illicit goods. And then there are those who use it for financial gain, such as hackers and cybercriminals. The motivations of dark web users are often driven by a desire for control and autonomy. They may feel that the mainstream internet is too restrictive or invasive, and that the dark web offers a sense of freedom and anonymity that they can't find elsewhere. But here's the thing. The dark web is not a utopia for free thinkers and libertarians. It's a complex and often treacherous environment, where the rules are constantly changing and the stakes are high. Those who venture into the dark web must be prepared to face the consequences of their actions, whether they're law enforcement or cybercriminals. As we continue to explore the world of the dark web, it's essential to understand the context and history of this complex and multifaceted environment. The dark web is not a single entity, but rather a collection of different networks and communities, each with their own rules and norms. The FBI's takeover of a dark website is just one example of how law enforcement is adapting to the evolving threat landscape. It's a reminder that the dark web is a constantly moving target, and that those who seek to exploit it for illicit purposes must be prepared to face the consequences. In the next section, we'll be exploring the specifics of the FBI's operation, including the tactics and strategies they use to infiltrate and take down the Silk Road market. We'll also be looking at the aftermath of the operation, including the impact on the dark web community and the lessons learned by law enforcement. But for now, let's take a step back and reflect on what we've learned so far. The dark web is a complex and multifaceted environment, driven by a mix of legitimate and illicit activities. It's a place where the rules are constantly changing and the stakes are high. Those who venture into the dark web must be prepared to face the consequences of their actions, whether they're law enforcement or cybercriminals. As you watch this video, we want to hear from you. What do you think about the dark web and its role in the world of cybercrime? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation. The dark web is a fascinating and often misunderstood topic, and we're just getting started. In the next section, we'll be diving deeper into the specifics of the FBI's operation and exploring the implications for law enforcement and the dark web community. Stay tuned. In this section, we've covered the basics of the dark web, including its history, motivations, and key players. We've also looked at the FBI's takeover of a dark website and explored the tactics and strategies they use to infiltrate and take down the Silk Road market. But there's still more to learn, and we're just getting started. In the next section, we'll be exploring the specifics of the FBI's operation, including the aftermath of the raid and the lessons learned by law enforcement. We'll also be looking at the impact on the dark web community and the implications for the future of cybercrime. As you continue to watch this video, remember that the dark web is a constantly moving target. It's a complex and multifaceted environment, driven by a mix of legitimate and illicit activities. Those who seek to exploit it for illicit purposes must be prepared to face the consequences of their actions, whether they're law enforcement or cybercriminals. Stay tuned for the next section, where we'll be diving deeper into the specifics of the FBI's operation and exploring the implications for the future of cybercrime. You're about to learn how the FBI pulled off a daring operation to take over a dark website without anyone even noticing. This is a story of sophistication, coordination, and clever tactics that will leave you wondering how they did it. Imagine you're a cybercrime investigator, and your team has been tracking a notorious dark website for months. You've gathered intelligence on its users, their habits, and even their language. But getting inside the site itself has been like trying to crack a safe. You need the right combination, and you need it fast. That's where the FBI's undercover team comes in. They use a technique called phishing to create fake profiles on the site, making it seem like they're just another user. But in reality, they're gathering intel, mapping the site's layout, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But here's what most people don't know. The FBI didn't act alone. They teamed up with international law enforcement partners to take down the site. It was a coordinated effort that spanned multiple countries and required precision timing. Think of it like a military operation, where every move is calculated and every player has a specific role to play. As the FBI's undercover team continued to gather intel, they discovered a weakness in the site's security. It was a small vulnerability, but one that could be exploited to gain control of the entire site. The team worked tirelessly to develop a plan, using their knowledge of the site's inner workings to create a backdoor that would allow them to take control. But what about the site's users? Wouldn't they notice something fishy going on? The answer lies in the FBI's clever use of social engineering. They created a fake update, made it look legitimate, and convinced the site's users to download it. Unbeknownst to them, the update was actually a Trojan horse, a malicious program that gave the FBI control of the site. The takeover was a masterclass in deception and strategy. The FBI had gained control of the site without anyone even noticing. They could now gather valuable intelligence, disrupt the site's illicit activities, and bring the perpetrators to justice. But here's the thing. This wasn't just a victory for the FBI. It was a major coup for law enforcement worldwide. The site shutdown sent a message to cybercrime operators. You're not safe, and you're not above the law. The operation marked a significant shift in the way law enforcement approaches dark web investigations, a move towards more proactive and sophisticated tactics. Now, you might be wondering what this means for you. How can you protect yourself from similar operations? The answer lies in being aware of your online activities and taking simple precautions. Use strong passwords, keep your software up to date, and be cautious when clicking on links or downloading attachments. But here's the most important thing. This operation was a wake-up call for all of us. It shows that the dark web is not a safe haven, and that law enforcement is getting smarter and more effective every day. It's time to think twice before engaging in illicit activities online, because the FBI is watching and they're getting closer. As we continue to explore the world of dark web investigations, remember that the stakes are high and the players are getting more sophisticated. But with the right knowledge and awareness, you can stay one step ahead of the game. Stay tuned for the next part of our series, where we'll dive deeper into the world of cybercrime and the latest tactics being used to take down online threats. And here's a question for you. What do you think is the most pressing issue facing law enforcement in the world of cybercrime? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. The FBI's takeover of the dark website was a major victory, but it's also a reminder that the cat-and-mouse game between law enforcement and cybercrime operators is far from over. As we move forward, we'll explore more of the latest tactics, strategies, and challenges facing law enforcement in the world of cybersecurity. Stay tuned, and let's keep exploring. You're about to learn how the FBI took over a dark website without anyone even noticing. But before we dive into that story, let's take a closer look at the site's illicit activities. What was this dark website used for, and why was it such a major concern for consumers and businesses? The site in question was used to facilitate the sale of stolen credit card information and other financial data. This might sound like something out of a movie, but it's all too real. The site's operators were selling sensitive information that could be used to commit identity theft, financial fraud, and all sorts of other crimes. Now, you might be wondering how the site's operators were able to get away with this for so long. The answer lies in their use of complex encryption and anonymity techniques. They were using tools like Tor and VPNs to mask their IP addresses and make it impossible to track them down. It was like they were invisible online. But here's the thing. The FBI was able to crack the code. They were able to track down the site's operators and take control of the site without anyone even noticing. It was a remarkable feat of sophistication and coordination. So, why was this site such a major concern for consumers and businesses? The answer is simple. It was a recipe for disaster. With stolen credit card information and other sensitive data available for sale, the risk of identity theft and financial fraud skyrocketed. Consumers and businesses were at risk of losing thousands of dollars, and in some cases, even their reputation. But here's what most people don't know. The site's activities were just the tip of the iceberg. There were countless other dark websites out there selling all sorts of illicit goods and services. From counterfeit currency to fake passports, the possibilities were endless. And it's not just the site's operators who were to blame. Consumers and businesses were also complicit in the problem. Many people were using the dark web to buy and sell illicit goods, unaware of the risks involved. It was a classic case of ignorance is bliss. But the FBI wasn't just sitting back and letting the problem fester. They were actively working to take down the site and its operators. And they were using some pretty clever tactics to do it. One of the key tools they used was a technique called man-in-the-middle MITM attacks. Essentially, this involved inserting themselves between the site's operators and their customers, intercepting communications and gathering evidence. It was like a digital sting operation. The FBI also used a technique called social engineering to gather information from the site's operators. This involved manipulating them into revealing sensitive information through phone calls, emails, and other communication channels. It was a delicate balancing act, but the FBI was able to get the information they needed to take down the site. Now, you might be wondering what happened to the site's operators. Well, let's just say they're not exactly enjoying a life of luxury. The FBI was able to track them down and bring them to justice, and the site itself was taken offline. But here's the thing. The dark web is still out there, and it's still a major concern for consumers and businesses. The site in question may be gone, but there are countless others just like it. And the FBI is still working to take them down. So, what can you do to protect yourself from the dark web? The answer is simple. Be vigilant. Keep your software up to date, use strong passwords, and be cautious when clicking on links or downloading attachments. It's not foolproof, but it's a start. And if you're a business, it's even more important to take steps to protect yourself. Use two-factor authentication, encrypt sensitive data, and monitor your accounts regularly. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it to prevent identity theft and financial fraud. As you can see, the dark web is a complex and ever-changing landscape. But with the right tools and knowledge, you can stay one step ahead of the bad guys. And that's exactly what the FBI is doing. In the next section, we'll be taking a closer look at the FBI's operation to take down the dark website. We'll explore the tactics they used, the challenges they faced, and the lessons they learned along the way. It's a fascinating story that will leave you wondering how they did it. You're about to learn the intricacies of the FBI's operation to take down a dark website without anyone even noticing. As we dive deeper into this story, you'll discover the tactics and strategies the FBI employed to outsmart the site's operators. The FBI's approach to this operation was a masterclass in undercover work and digital forensic analysis. They used a combination of seasoned agents and cutting-edge technology to gather evidence and build a case against the site's administrators. Imagine being part of a team tasked with infiltrating a highly secretive online community, where the stakes are high and the consequences of getting caught are severe. The FBI's undercover agents went undercover, posing as regular users of the dark website. They created fake profiles, gathered information about the site's users, and even participated in illicit activities to gather evidence. But here's the thing. The agents didn't just stop at gathering evidence. They also worked to disrupt the site's operations, creating a ripple effect that would ultimately lead to its downfall. But the FBI didn't stop there. They also employed digital forensic analysis to uncover the site's infrastructure and identify its key administrators. By analyzing the site's code, network traffic, and user behavior, the FBI was able to map out the site's inner workings and identify vulnerabilities. This allowed them to create a targeted plan to take down the site without alerting its operators. The operation involved a deep understanding of the dark web ecosystem and the tactics used by its operators. The FBI realized that the site's administrators were using advanced techniques to stay ahead of law enforcement, including encryption, VPNs, and secure communication channels. To counter this, the FBI developed a customized approach that involved working with international partners to track down the site's administrators and disrupt their communication channels. One of the most impressive aspects of this operation was the level of collaboration and information sharing between law enforcement agencies. The FBI worked closely with international partners, including the UK's National Crime Agency and the Australian Federal Police, to gather intelligence and coordinate the takedown. This level of cooperation was unprecedented, and it highlights the importance of collaboration in taking down complex cybercrime operations. As you can imagine, the operation was a high-stakes affair, with the FBI facing significant challenges along the way. But they persevered, using their expertise and resources to stay one step ahead of the site's administrators. The end result was a major victory for law enforcement, with the site's administrators being arrested and charged with various crimes. But here's the thing. This operation wasn't just about taking down a single site. It was about disrupting a larger ecosystem of cybercrime. By targeting the site's administrators and disrupting their communication channels, the FBI sent a clear message to other cybercriminals. We're watching, and we're ready to take you down. This has a ripple effect, making it more difficult for cybercriminals to operate and creating a safer online environment for users. As you continue to learn about this operation, you'll realize that it was a complex and sophisticated affair. The FBI's tactics and strategies were designed to outsmart the site's administrators, and they succeeded in doing so. But what's more impressive is the level of collaboration and information sharing that took place between law enforcement agencies. This is a crucial aspect of taking down complex cybercrime operations, and it's something that we'll explore further in this video. In the next section, we'll take a closer look at the aftermath of the operation and how it impacted the dark web ecosystem. We'll explore the long-term consequences of the takedown and how it has affected the activities of cybercriminals. Stay tuned to learn more about this fascinating story and the lessons we can learn from it. You're about to learn the implications of the FBI's takeover of a dark website without anyone noticing. As we delve deeper into the story, you'll begin to understand why this operation is a wake-up call for consumers and businesses alike. Imagine you're browsing the internet, completely unaware of the dangers lurking in the shadows. You've heard of the dark web, but you're not sure what it's all about. Let me tell you, it's a realm where illicit activities thrive and financial data breaches are just a click away. The takeover of this dark website serves as a reminder of the importance of online security and the need for vigilance against cyber threats. Think of it like this. The dark web is a wild west where outlaws and scammers roam free, waiting to strike. But just like how the authorities in the Wild West work together to bring order, law enforcement agencies like the FBI are collaborating with the private sector to prevent and respond to cyber threats. As a consumer, you need to take steps to protect yourself from financial data breaches and other cyber attacks. Here's what you can do. First, make sure you're using strong, unique passwords for all your online accounts. Avoid using the same password for multiple sites, and consider using a password manager to generate and store complex passwords. Second, keep your software and operating system up to date. Outdated software can leave you vulnerable to cyber attacks, so make sure you're running the latest versions of your operating system and other software. Third, be cautious when clicking on links or downloading attachments from unknown sources. Cyber scammers often use phishing emails and malicious attachments to steal your personal data. But here's what most people don't know. Even with these precautions in place, you can still fall victim to a cyber attack. That's why it's essential to have a plan in place in case something goes wrong. As a business owner, you have an even greater responsibility to protect your customers' data. You need to implement robust security measures to prevent financial data breaches and other cyber attacks. One way to do this is to invest in cybersecurity software that detects and prevents cyber threats in real time. You should also train your employees on cybersecurity best practices and ensure that they understand the importance of data protection. But here's the thing. Cybersecurity is a shared responsibility between businesses and consumers. The FBI's operation demonstrates the importance of collaboration between law enforcement and the private sector in preventing and responding to cyber threats. In fact, the FBI's partnership with the private sector is a model for how businesses and law enforcement agencies can work together to prevent cyber attacks. By sharing information and best practices, we can create a safer online environment for everyone. So what does this mean for you? It means that you need to take online security seriously and take steps to protect yourself and your business from financial data breaches and other cyber attacks. It means that you need to be vigilant and proactive in the face of cyber threats. And it means that you need to be aware of the importance of collaboration between law enforcement and the private sector in preventing and responding to cyber threats. The FBI's takeover of the dark website is a wake-up call for consumers and businesses alike. It's a reminder that online security is everyone's responsibility and that we need to work together to create a safer online environment. So what do you think? Are you taking online security seriously? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Here's the script content for the section on the future of dark web investigations. As you've learned, the FBI's takeover of that dark website without anyone noticing is a game changer for law enforcement. But what does this mean for the future of dark web investigations? Let's break it down. The FBI's operation sets a new standard for how law enforcement agencies can investigate and disrupt illicit activities online. This model is going to be studied and adapted by other agencies around the world. Think about it. If the FBI can pull off a takeover like this without anyone even noticing, what does that mean for the future of cybercrime? The truth is, law enforcement agencies are going to have to stay ahead of the curve in terms of technology and tactics. They'll need to be just as skilled at navigating the dark web as the cybercriminals they're trying to catch. And that's where collaboration and innovation come in. The FBI's operation highlights the importance of working with the private sector to develop new tools and strategies for fighting cybercrime. Imagine a future where law enforcement agencies are partnering with tech companies to develop AI-powered tools that can track down cybercriminals in real time. Or picture a scenario where dark web marketplaces are being brought down not by hackers, but by a coalition of law enforcement agencies and private sector experts working together. That's the future of dark web investigations. It's a future where law enforcement agencies are constantly innovating and adapting to stay one step ahead of the cybercriminals. And it's a future that's going to require a lot more collaboration between law enforcement and the private sector. But here's the thing. This future isn't just about law enforcement agencies. It's about all of us. As consumers and citizens, we have a role to play in shaping the future of dark web investigations. By being more aware of the risks and opportunities online, we can help law enforcement agencies stay ahead of the curve. So what can you do to help? Start by being more mindful of your online activity. Avoid using public Wi-Fi networks, and make sure your passwords are secure. And if you notice something suspicious online, report it to the authorities. The future of dark web investigations is complex and multifaceted. But one thing is clear, it's going to require all of us working together to get there. You're now taking control of your online security, and it's a crucial step in protecting yourself from cyber threats. Just like the FBI took control of that dark website without anyone noticing, you can take proactive measures to safeguard your digital life. As we discussed earlier, the FBI's operation was a game changer for law enforcement, but it also highlights the importance of personal responsibility in online security. Let's start with the basics. Using strong passwords is the first line of defense against cyber threats. Think of your password like a combination lock on a safe. The longer and more complex it is, the harder it is to crack. But here's the thing. Most people still use easy-to-guess passwords like QWERTY or their name. Don't be one of them. Use a password manager to generate unique, complex passwords for each of your online accounts. Next up is two-factor authentication, 2FA. This adds an extra layer of security by requiring a second form of verification, like a code sent to your phone or a biometric scan, in addition to your password. 2FA is like having a second set of keys to your digital home. It makes it much harder for hackers to get in. And, as we'll see in a moment, businesses must prioritize online security by investing in robust cybersecurity measures and training employees on best practices. Now, let's talk about monitoring your financial accounts. Think of it like regularly checking your credit report for suspicious activity. You want to stay on top of your online accounts to catch any potential security breaches early. Set up alerts for unusual transactions and keep an eye out for phishing scams that try to trick you into revealing sensitive information. Businesses, take note. Online security is not just a consumer issue. It's also a business imperative. Investing in robust cybersecurity measures and training employees on best practices can help prevent cyber threats and protect your company's reputation. It's like having a secure perimeter around your physical store. You want to make sure it's impenetrable to potential security breaches. The FBI's operation serves as a reminder that online security is everyone's responsibility. We all have a role to play in preventing cyber threats, from consumers to businesses. By taking control of your online security, you're not only protecting yourself, but also contributing to a safer, more secure online community. In conclusion, online security is a top priority in today's digital landscape. By using strong passwords, enabling two-factor authentication, and monitoring your financial accounts, you can take control of your online security. Businesses must also prioritize online security by investing in robust cybersecurity measures and training employees on best practices. Remember, online security is everyone's responsibility. Let's work together to create a safer online world.